From woke to a wink, let's go underneath the headlines with Daniella Bloom, your authentic and perfectly imperfect psychotherapist, devoted mama bear and girlfriend. Welcome to Let's Talk Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Let's Talk Uncensored. How are you guys? How have you been? It's Thanksgiving. We're going to see family. We're going to come together. How are you guys feeling about that? Does it give you anxiety? Does it give you excitement? It is very challenging sometimes to be around family and friends who we haven't seen in a while. It can bring out the best and the worst of us. Who can relate to that? So I wanted to talk about the theme of this episode, which is even when life is going great, shit can still happen. And I'm going to tie this into Thanksgiving, and I'm going to tie this into recent events. Specifically, many of you might have already heard that one of our American treasures, Dennis Prager, renowned syndicated talk show host, radio host, renowned syndicated radio host, and founder of PragerU. He is an incredible light to many listeners who've been following him for many decades on the value of Judeo-Christian values and how it applies to our everyday lives. I was with him and some fantastic people, including the CEOs of PragerU, Marissa Straight, Alan Estrin. We were all celebrating at the PragerU Gala 2 weeks ago in Beverly Hills. And it was honoring PragerU. PragerU and the Daily Wire are two ports in the storm of reliable information that's founded in Judeo-Christian values, common sense, resources, and entertainment from people that we can trust without a woke agenda. Obviously, we're on the same wavelength there. There was much to celebrate, and we were celebrating. Dennis himself even got on stage and was dancing to the YMCA, and we were enjoying this unbelievable red wave where we said Dayenu. Dayenu is a Jewish concept where we say it during Passover when we are given abundance already, when the Jews exited out of Egypt and were given the ability to be free. But on top of that, they were also given the 10 Commandments. On top of that, they were also given Canaan, their homeland. So we say that you freed us from Egypt. You gave us the 10 Commandments. In America, we say that Trump won the presidency. He got the Senate. He got the House. He got the popular vote. And it finally feels like we can sit back and relax. For many of us, awake mama bears, papa bears, people from all walks of life, all religions, all backgrounds, awakened to the essence of our country, defending our freedoms, what this country has been founded on. Not only does Trump have the presidency, he has Elon Musk, he has Tulsi Gabbard, he has RFK, who's going to make America healthy again. So for many of us, we can breathe a sigh of relief and now focus on other things that we've been putting off in our advocacy work that we can now have more space and time for. So going back to Dennis Prager and PragerU Gala, that was on Saturday, November 9th. Not 3 days later, Dennis Prager would take a nasty fall at his home that could happen to anyone. And especially if you're listening and you have elderly parents, it's so important that in a bathroom where there's tile or some sort of ceramic surface, it is very easy to slip. And when you are older, the risk is higher. And Dennis is a big guy. He's 6'4". He slipped and fell, and unfortunately, he hit his head on the fall. And he is in the care of an amazing hospital and staff in Los Angeles. But the circumstances are serious. He has been showing improvements every day, but because of the swelling in his neck and head, there is a concern of paralysis, but that can also be temporary because they're swelling. But as we know, anytime someone stays for a long time at the hospital, it opens you up to greater risk in terms of pneumonia and infection. So we ask for your prayers every day for him, for his family. He is a ball of energy and content, and we need him. And he's a hell of a guy. I know him personally. He's a hell of a husband, a hell of a father, a hell of a human being. And America is better off. The world is better off with him in it and speaking the way he has been speaking on many varieties of subjects. But if it can happen to Dennis Prager, it can happen to any of us. And doesn't all the wealth, all of the accolades, all of the love, it still doesn't prevent you from shit hitting the fan. And things can really suck when they hit the fan. But I do believe at the end of the day, you have to look at all circumstances as things happening for you and not to you, whatever that looks like. Because basking in this energy of look what has happened to me strips us of our power and of our now whats. You can't change the past. Dennis fell. All he can do now is heal and maybe slow down a little bit. Sometimes God wants us to slow down, and if we don't listen to these messages, he'll slow us down for us. So bringing this back to Thanksgiving and being around people that can bring out the best and worst in us, especially in this political climate where it's very trendy to identify each other as toxic or want to cancel you because you think differently than I do. That's not helpful. And if we're going to see it play out in our country, of course, we're going to see the parallels in our own families. My advice to you as a psychotherapist and a human being is to never lose the footing of being grounded. When and if someone says something triggering, you have a right to take a deep breath and not engage. Now, you can do that respectfully, because calling someone names and being emotionally triggered does not empower you, doesn't make you look like the bitter person, the bigger person. But staying in commandment of your own energy and what you're willing to not engage in will give you empowerment. I also wanted to share with you guys a poem that I had written, and I share this with my audience every Thanksgiving. I put it in my newsletter. I put it in my Facebook groups. By the way, if you don't already know, we have a fantastic Facebook group called Let's Talk Uncensored, which is a community base from people from all over America and the world of like-minded individuals who find each other. Okay. So this is a poem that I came across. It was called Broken Dreams. I loved its heart and simplicity, but I felt the poem incomplete. I was inspired to write the second part. The poem that I wrote was my catharsis in a much needed time of healing. I read these poems over and over until I feel their effects. I know I wasn't writing these words on my own. This was a divinely inspired presence that I began to write from. If you or someone you know are in need of some emotional TLC around this time of year, I hope these poems bring you solace, support, and comfort. Here we go. Broken Dreams. As children bring their broken toys with tears for us to mend, I brought my broken dreams to God because He is my friend. But then instead of leaving Him in peace to work alone, I hung around and tried to help with ways that were my own. At last I snatched them back and cried, "How can you be so slow?" "My child," He said, "what could I do? You never did let go." That was the first part. Now this is my addition. Dreams anew is what I called it. And so my dreams I did let go, hoping he was right. I said goodbye, held my faith, watched them to the light. When doubt would come and pain drew close, I pushed those thoughts away. God, I said, I know you're here. And I began to pray. I went about my day with trust, knowing he was near. Despite whatever would arise, I began to not have fear. I made a point to stop looking for my dreams to heal. As long as I believed they would, he would make them real. Until one day when I awoke, I could not quite explain. Gone was any doubt I had. Gone was all the pain. I cried out to him with joy, mended you my dreams. My child, he said, it was you and I. We did it as a team. You let me do what I know how to tend and heal and love. All I want for you always is to help you rise above. I ask only in return, he said, to have an opened mind. An open heart is all you need to know what is divine. So I will link it also in the description of the show notes for you to enjoy and read again and again. I want to wish you a very healthy and happy Thanksgiving, and that we are meant to not be perfect, but perfectly imperfect with who we are and what we are about. So stand proud in the blessings that you do have. Stand proud in the people you love and in the people who love you right back. Stand proud in the dreams you have and the courage to go about them. Stand proud in what you stand for, and not everyone has to agree with you. Stand proud to be an American. Stand proud as a mother. Stand proud as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend. Whatever those labels are that you own, stand proudly in them. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Let's Talk Uncensored. If you enjoyed it, please share it. Subscribe and leave a review to keep this podcast growing. Remember, blooming exactly where you are planted requires personal accountability, forward thinking, grace, and some humor, of course. You got this. Visit www.daniellabloom.com to sign up and join this special community of free thinkers. Follow Daniella's latest uncensored antics on your favorite social media of choice. See you next time.